Short, sweet, and to the point. Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon. Well, no, it's still morning. It's to be morning everywhere.
It's afternoon in London with the Falcons
there you
and the Jaguars.
That's right. The Jaguars. I'm watching it on Disney Plus right now. The Jags are up 10-0. It's interesting. It is interesting to watch.
How is it watching with Toy Story versus like Nickelodeon? Nickelodeon drives me bananas. I hate that just drives me bananas.
I think a kid will like it. A younger kid may like it.
Of course, the
kids
will
interesting.
like it. Yeah.
But everyone, thank you all for tuning in. You're watching the Miami Dolphins pregame show on the FinStalk Sports Network. That is the one and only FinStanza Posner. I'm Bobby FinStalk. And my goodness, are we ready for some football? I don't know. I mean, it's always like Christmas morning, every game day. But for this season specifically, it is extra special because your Miami Dolphins are 3-0, looking to go 4-0 against the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo today. And you know, I could see if Dolphin fans after last season, which they lost twice in Buffalo in the wild card, in the regular season last year, Miami beat Buffalo in Miami, but lost twice in Buffalo. I could see if a Dolphin fan coming into this year might go,
"Here comes a Dolphin fan."
There you go. They may say we may drop this game, but after what you've seen the last 3 weeks, if you're a Dolphins fan and you're still picking Buffalo over Miami, you may need to check yourself because, my goodness, the Dolphins have been on top of the world, at least offensively. Defensively, little by little, they've been catching up. But offensively, already scored 70 points. They're way ahead of everybody else. This could go down as the most prolific offense in NFL history when all said and done. And you're talking an offense that used to have Dan Marino, Ricky Williams. You're talking about a division rival in Tom Brady and Randy Moss one time where they were scoring points on everybody. This can actually go down as that if they continue this trend. Evan, first off, how excited are you for game day today against the Buffalo Bills? Is there any ounce of of nervousness going, ooh, I know you think they're going to win, but is there anything in you? Is there a little doubt back there somewhere going, oh, I'm a little nervous for this?
Not at all. The only thing that does concern me, because I'm positive to be, is that, and I said this on the bandwagon, the Miami Dolphins, Josh Allen, if he comes out, he could on his own, he'll have to win that football game. If somehow the Miami Dolphins lose this game, Josh Allen had the game of his life. The way the only person who could cost us this football game potentially is the guy I'm wearing, and the reason I say that is that the last time he was in Orchard Park, he was sitting there on a 4th and 1, not realizing what time it was. And that's where the whole Timex joke came from. The Miami Dolphins have a team where the defense still hasn't been at its highest level. It's not 100% healthy, but they've been playing well the last 2 games. The offense is running on all cylinders. Finally, the last 2 games, when we were concerned after game 1, there'd be where was the balanced attack? Well, the last 2 games, there was more than a balanced attack. So the Miami Dolphins, if they lose this football game, it's because they made a critical error, not that the Buffalo Bills beat them. Now, Josh Allen is a great quarterback. Could he do it? Maybe. But he does not have the weapons, and they don't have the defense to counter our running attack for us not to be able to put up 30 points in this football game. So Miami, the only concern I have is Miami maybe getting a little too overconfident and beating themselves. But I don't see them losing because Buffalo was the better football team on that day. That does not concern me at all. That's the least of my concerns. I'm not walking to this football game saying Buffalo is going to beat Miami. I'm concerned that Miami may allow Buffalo to beat them.
Understood. And again, beating themselves, it seems to be a concern. What's interesting, I know you just brought up first off, let me just say good morning to everyone who's watching. Ben is in the house. Aladino.
By the way,
Chef Chu. Ben, I appreciate you all for watching.
Did you enjoy the Costanza video? That's my friend Ben. He gets me going on Seinfeld every day.
Oh, it was actually, it was eerie how close it was to you. A lot of those things. I mean, but let me just say this very quick.
I'm not unemployed and I don't live with my parents, okay?
Oh, dude, that'd just be at least the parents thing.
Oh, but, Ben loves the fact that you guys call me Costanza because to him, he's obsessed with Seinfeld. So for him, this is a pleasure.
Chef Shu already beat me to it, but he says, hit that like button, please. Absolutely. Everyone who's tuning in, whether you're watching on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, we appreciate you. We're at 110 subscribers. We're growing. We're excited. Hit that like and subscribe button if you're new to the channel. We got great Dolphins content, sports content, and if you were listening yesterday on Fitz Talk Today, we will be doing a 1,000 subscriber giveaway, at least 2, 1 man, 1 girl. And I think we're going to go with some hats. So we're working on that. So if you're watching now and you want to win a Dolphins hat, tune in on Fitz Talk Today on next Saturday. I believe that's when we're going to do our selection for whoever's watching live. We'll pick from the commentating on it audience. 1,010. Oh, sorry, 1,010. I apologize. It's still early, obviously, for me, but the wife who woke up saw that, so thank you for the correction. But anyway, you just talked about the Buffalo defense, who obviously I know you're going to say it's the Raiders and the Commanders, but they just, after a tough loss in week 1 against the Jets without Aaron Rodgers, who was hurt, Zach Wilson came in, they lost 26-16, but the following weeks, back to their winning ways, Las Vegas, they defeated the Raiders 38-10 and defeated the Commanders, who just beat the Broncos on that high-scoring game, 37-3. So they were able to hold the Raiders to 10 and the Commanders to 3. You just brought up the defense. Miami obviously is the number 1 ranked offense in the NFL, only 3 weeks in, but can't argue that after 70 points. The number 1 offense in the NFL. The Buffalo Bills, the number 2 defense in the NFL. Their offense is ranked 8th, and the Buffalo Bills are ranked 8th, and the Miami Dolphins currently creeping up. They're at 23 right now. But after last week's performance, of course, they're going to move up. So why we know Jordan Poyer is going to be a huge loss I think Jordan Poyer is going to be a bigger loss than Jalen Phillips. And it's not because Jalen Phillips, despite what our colleague may say, and I'll leave that to him if he posts up on postgame. But Jalen Phillips is a very good player. He's going up, okay? No one's expecting to be – we are expecting him to be a Pro Bowler and all, because we see the talent that's there. He's not there yet. People need to grow, okay? Not making that argument right now. However, I'm not worried about Jalen Phillips missing today's game. He is ruled out. For those who don't know, Jalen Phillips won't play today. Poyer, for the safety for the Buffalo Bills, is also out. I think Poyer is a bigger loss for Buffalo than Jalen Phillips is for Miami because Andrew Van Ginkel, Emmanuel Ogbah, and Bradley Chubb. Ogbah played a great game last week. A sack, a batted ball that turned into an interception, which he took. And then, of course, Andrew Van Ginkel has probably been the best player on this defense next to Javon Holland. So, Evan, am I wrong to say that Jordan Poyer is a bigger loss for Buffalo than Miami for Jalen Phillips? We shouldn't be worried that Phillips is out this game.
No, because we've played without Phillips healthy the last game. Ogbah is not 2 years ago was our best lineman we had on our team. Last game, he had a sack. He had an interception. The guy did what he had to do. Andrew Van Ginkel is showing that he is one of the stars of Fangio's defense. And in this type of game, Christian Wilkins and Zach Sealer love to play Buffalo. If you recall, the way we were able to climb back into that game last season in the playoffs was Zach Sealer and Christian Wilkins. If you remember, when them dancing in the end zone, those two were key factors. Jordan Poyer is a key safety, and in order to be able to contain our wide receiver core, you need to have your star safety. Now, DeMar Hamlin's coming back today, but that might obviously that's going to give Buffalo an intangible boost,
an emotional boost. Yeah,
an emotional boost. But let's just be honest, DeMar Hamlin is not what we call an elite player in the NFL, right? He's going to give you that emotional boost, but he's not going to that may not translate onto the field. So, for me, no, losing Jordan Poyer, who has been a very successful player in the league for many, many years, versus Jalen Phillips, who's an up-and-comer. The difference is, and I said this on Bandwagon, we were all talking about how thin the depth was for our backups. But what we've shown in the first 3 weeks, no Teron Armstead, there's Kendall Lamb. There's no Jalen Phillips. There's Andrew Van Ginkel or Emmanuel Ogbah. There's no Brandon Jones. There's Deshaun Elliott. There's no Eli Apple struggles. You put back Kader Kohu. It doesn't matter. Wherever it is, there's been something, right? So for me, losing Jordan Poyer is a much more difficult loss for the Bills than us losing Jalen Phillips, because we do have depth on the edge rusher position, because we have a $16 million guy who played that position before. So,
absolutely fair. Caruno, thank you for tuning in. Good morning. Anthony's in the house, of course. Anthony Manzano, one and only. He says, I read somewhere, apparently it's a grade 3 strain for Jalen Phillips. I'm not sure if I would trust it. Hey, and you know what? Give him all the time he needs. Dolphins are 3-0 right now. I know, the way Van Ginkel's playing, again, Bradley Chubb, Agba, Christian Wilkins, etc. He can afford to miss a game or two with this injury. Do not rush it, especially at his young age. You don't want to flare it up, and then he's going to have that issue for years to come. We don't want that. Scotty's in the house, and Evan will love that comment. I loved watching a college kid from Appalachian State hit a 54-yarder with ease to win a game. Not pressure Sanders. I think that's what it says there. No pressure Sanders.
Honestly, Jason Sanders is our kicker. I have to live with that. So I'll smile and say Jason Sanders will do what he needs to do today.
Joseph Whalen, if Buffalo loses, this is going to be so because Von Miller and Power didn't play. Well, listen, I was just talking about how Miami was 0-2 in Buffalo last year, but that second loss in Buffalo was in the wild card game with Skylar Thompson at quarterback, and Miami only lost that game 34-31. So to me, that's a silver lining there.
Yeah.
Okay. Miami scored 31 points with Skylar Thompson at quarterback.
Without throwing a touchdown.
That's
and insane, eh? You know that 31 points without throwing a touchdown.
Listen, this is the first real measuring stick of the season for the Dolphins.
He's injured. Scotty's injured. He has a ongoing injury. I forget what's injured, but I have to look at his inactives.
But this is the first measuring stick for the Dolphins. Like, I mean, maybe the second. Okay, the Chargers was number 1. Okay, they had to win that game. It was a shootout, 38-34, high scoring game on offense. They sealed the deal. That's awesome. They take care of the New England Patriots 24-17, but we all expected that to be the way it was going to go. Then you go against the Broncos. I think everybody had that as a win if you're a Dolphins fan, no matter how you feel about the team.
It's a knee injury for Poyer, by the way. It's a knee injury.
Okay. But the way they won 70-20, but those two games compared to the Chargers game, you're like, no, we got those two games. Now you go against the Buffalo Bills, who you're 1-2 against after last year. Buffalo Bills has had Miami's number realistically throughout these recent years. Today is the first measuring stick. Miami beat Buffalo in Miami. They did that. We could see that happening again this year at Hard Rock with those fans, the way Miami has been turning out for games, the fans of Miami. This Buffalo game, Miami's lost 2 in a row. So this game today is the first, because if Miami loses in Buffalo, those people who doubt Miami are going to start to creep up. They're going to go, oh, look, against a real team, against a contender, they couldn't do it. They could do it against pretenders with the Patriots and the Broncos, but they couldn't do it against the contender in Buffalo. That's creeping up. So this is a very important game for the Dolphins. I know it's only week 4. It's not make or break, but it will be a measuring stick for the doubters across the league that if Miami could win this game, you're going to see a huge tide flip over to the Miami side. Am I crazy for thinking that, Evan?
No, not at all. But I'm not, like I said, overall, I'm not concerned about facing Buffalo because the last time we played them, let's just be honest, like you said, scored 31 against Skylar Thompson behind center out throwing. The game before that, the game was in our hands. We gave up the running game. That's why I refer to the fact that
that's right. That was McDaniel. 2 at quarterback, and it was 30.
And he had a phenomenal game. That was not on him. That was on Mike McDaniel. The last 2 games we lost to Buffalo was a Mike McDaniel rookie head coach mistakes that cost us football games. It was not because we didn't play up to their skill. The same way they had a phenomenal game in Miami, but we ended up pulling it off. So it's a very even matchup. This year, Miami has had to face the Chargers, who are a good football team, the Patriots, who have one of the GOAT at defense, and the Broncos are not a great team, but they're an NFL team. The Bills have faced the Jets, where they faced a staunch defense and threw 3 interceptions. Then they face the Commanders and the Raiders, who are at the level, or if not worse, or at the level of the Broncos. And yes, they put up 30-something points, but they didn't put up 70. So for me, in the end, it's an even matchup because Miami has still not proven to anybody that they can hang with the Bills in a game where they have taken the victory and now they're the beats of the AFC East. The same way when we faced, for example, when we had the Miami Miracle, the Patriots are still the stars of that division. The last 3 years, it's been the Bills division. The Bills have gotten sustainably worse over the games, whether they're winning or not. They don't have the same defensive coordinator. They don't have the same skills at offense or defense. They are light in the pants against the run. So for me, like I said, they have 2 elite players that people talk about. Miami has on offense. They have 2 elite players that people talk about. Miami has 5, easy. So Miami has the weapons in order to win this football game. They can adjust. They know their running game and their schemes are stronger on an offensive side of the ball than because think about it. Outside of Josh Allen over Tua, name me an area on the Buffalo Bills that hands down Buffalo with history of a veteran player on their team is better, because Diggs isn't better than Hill. Waddle's better than Davis. We have the best offensive linemen. We have the best corners. Is it a difference between Tre'Davious White and X? Probably that's a wash. If Ramsey on the line, Christian Wilkins on the line with Zach Sealer and is facing Matt Milano, Ed Oliver in that group, I think that's a wash. So I don't see it being that different. I really don't.
I was checking to make sure. Of course, as we get closer to game time, we'll know the official.
You always bring up quarters 1 through 3, but he disappeared in the fourth quarter. Because that Mike McDaniel schemed them that way. And you have to remember, when the game they won, he wasn't 100% in that fourth quarter, Anthony. And the game again in the snow, because it was a tight game, McDaniel screwed the pooch. And then the other game, he wasn't there. So let's give Tua a little more credit than that. And like I said, for me, I get nervous after for me, I'm no less nervous facing the Bills than I would be facing the Texans. I'm always nervous for my Dolphins because I take it because I love my football team. Period. If I wouldn't be.
Are you saying Allen's hand down's better than Tua?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that Allen has proven more than Tua, meaning that he's like. But I do believe Tua is further along than Josh Allen was, because people have recency bias. Josh Allen in his first 2 years, no offense, sucked. He was a rookie quarterback, just like Bryce Young is right now, just like Jordan Love is right now. He was not very good the first 2 years. He was average. Go look at his stats. Tua had a winning record. Josh Allen did not. Josh Allen has only grown into the role over the last couple of years, and he's very turnover heavy because he tries to do everything. Josh Allen has never. That's one thing I will give credit to Justin Herbert about. Like right now, if Tolan told me tomorrow, put someone on the field, you're going to be shocked. Josh Allen or Justin Herbert? I would probably take Herbert over Allen. Why? Because Allen tries to do everything by himself. Herbert doesn't. Herbert will give it to Eckler. He'll pass the ball. He won't run out of the pocket like crazy to try to make plays. Josh Allen, look what he did in game 1 against a very stout defense. Our defense has gotten better game by game by game by game. Our defense is only going to be better today. And if you don't think that Vic Fangio has spun up a way to contain Josh Allen, then why are we even talking about then it should be an easy win for the Bills, because Vic Fangio, we entrusted him. He's the highest paid DC. He's going to find a way to contain this quarterback today. No, I do believe Tua will be a better quarterback than Josh Allen when all said and done. 100%. He is a better coach. Because let's just be clear. Mike McDaniel.
That's the difference, though, right? Like, let's be real here. Like, you know, when we talk about, and I don't want to get too much into, well, no, we can, because it's Herbert that I know. But in regards of Allen and Tua, you know, if you think of in regards of physical talent, arm talent, whatever, athleticism, you think, you know, yeah, Allen fits the mold, and that's what the NFL is going towards. Anthony Richardson, Will Levis, those guys are the type of, they want to get the mold of a Josh Allen or a Justin Herbert. They're not looking for the Tua. They're not looking for a Drew Brees. They're looking for that type of body frame.
Yeah.
And then you look at Tua accuracy, you know, I mean, you know, he's getting better. But what's the huge difference between those two guys? You just hit the nail on the head at the end of that comment. It's Mike McDaniel. Just like when people were like, I think it was it Brian Dable for Josh Allen. What Brian Dable did for Josh Allen, you know, Mike McDaniel is doing that plus a lot more for Tua. Josh Allen does not have a Tua. We know how talented Josh Allen is. But we're looking before our eyes right now. We're witnessing. You're saying about the first 2 years of Allen, where he played like an average rookie NFL quarterback in his first 2 years. That wasn't good. Had a lot of hype. Wasn't good. He gets Stephon Diggs. He has Brian Dable and company. He starts to transcend and become quote unquote an elite quarterback in the NFL. Tua, you see where he's good, accurate player. A great leader on the field. But you got his questions, whether that's the injury, whether that's the arm power, whatever, throughout those first 2 years, the drama in the locker room with Brian Flores, multiple offensive coordinators. This is the first year he has the same offensive system. In his third year with Mike McDaniel, yes, you add in Tyreek, but Mike McDaniel, and now you're seeing a different version of Tua, a better version of Tua, and maybe the true version of Tua. People might go, oh, it's because of Tyreek. Look, Tyreek was a great addition, but Evan, because better than anybody, because I don't know how many times I spoke to you last year to this same type, not this conversation, but who was in my opinion, the best signing for the Dolphins? Was it Tyreek? It was Mike McDaniel. He makes the biggest difference for this Dolphins team because he made the biggest difference on our quarterback. Okay. Not just the majority, not the majority, but 50% or how many percent of the Dolphins fan base were saying we want a different quarterback. But even the ownership and maybe the front office teasing it, we're looking at different quarterbacks. It was when Mike McDaniel came in where they finally you started to see the belief in Tua. They started actually building around Tua, and now you're looking at this version of Tua. Good morning,
Super Chat.
Manny. Great to see that you're here, brother. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Dolphins go to Buffalo in a tight game and leave 4-0. I love it. What's your score, Manny? I'd love to know that, brother. Manny, man, if you haven't seen Manny, and I doubt you haven't, one of the most coolest guys. I can't wait to get to meet him when I go down there in 2 weeks with Evan for the Carolina game.
Who convinced you to come?
Yeah. Well, you did. You've been pushing it, and then you got Miss Fin's the double team. It was a tag team match.
You always go after the women.
It was a handicap match.
The women always get you.
The handicap match. You got me to go, but I appreciate it, and I'm so excited to go there, see the Carolina game with my brother. Get to see everybody and get to meet everyone. I'm gonna have a blast. It's gonna be a blast. We're gonna have a lot of live shows, and hopefully we'll get to meet up with Manny. Maybe we get to do something when we're down there too.
Yeah.
But we're getting into that. I'm talking about live show. For the first 3 years of Herbert's career, he had different coordinators. But you can't really use that excuse for the 3 years of Herbert's career. He had 3 different coordinators. He has 3 issues. I'm not saying anything about Herbert.
No.
And I liked Herbert coming out, and I think Herbert's going to be just fine. 31-27 is my final score only because I'm still shaky with our defense. That's fair. I think that's absolutely fair. This is going to be a measuring stick, not only for the Dolphins, but a huge measuring stick for the Dolphins defense.
Yeah. I want to just answer Anthony's comment because he asked me to answer it. It's about Van Ginkel.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
He brought up a question about Van Ginkel. Evan, I have a question for you about AVG. We want these types of players you can trust in multiple games. Yeah. Andrew Van Ginkel shown the last 2 games. It's on in spurts. He has been playing linebacker last 2 games like he's playing like an all-pro. He has done what he has to do. He's getting to that quarterback. Not a spurt. This guy was a very, very smart signing in the end. The fact that we didn't lose him, he was willing to come back, is phenomenal for us.
And Evan, we do this, but we don't mean to do this. I mean, I know you do, but toot our horns and go there. But remember when we re-signed Van Ginkel?
Yeah.
I said he wasn't supposed to come back. The Dolphins were moving on. He was moving on. He was taking interviews with other teams. He was scheduling interviews at least with other teams. He came back to this team on a team-friendly deal, not because all of a sudden he said, you know what, now I'd rather go play for Miami. Or all of a sudden they're like, yeah, we need him.
Yeah.
Who made that call? Vic Fangio.
Yeah.
Fangio called and said, we need him. Bring him back. And I told you, I go, they have a role for him. He's gonna be an important piece on this defense. And lo and freaking behold, again, next to Javon Holland, maybe the second best player so far on this defense, but definitely the most impactful player on this defense so far. Only 3 weeks. I know I don't want to be like jumping the gun, but already the most impactful player. Anthony has it 47-42 Miami. My goodness, that would be an offensive. That'd be a crazy.
If that's how close the game is, I think that we'll all be like that'll be one of those shows where you're happy, but what was wrong with our defense?
Well, again, but let's be fair to, and I mean, hey, I know we're Dolphins pregame show, but we go around the league. But let's be fair to Buffalo here. All right, Josh Allen's first 2 years wasn't good, but Josh Allen recently has been very good. One of the top quarterbacks in the NFL. Yeah. They've won the AFC East multiple times. They haven't got the job done. Stephon Diggs, just like Tyreek is to Tua, Stephon Diggs is what for Josh Allen. Stephon Diggs is having a great year so far.
Yeah.
So if Miami drops 42 or allows 42 on their defense, it's not really what's wrong with their defense. It's the win is going to count. It's the individual plays that we're going to have to judge, because again, you're going against the 8th best offense in the NFL and the 2nd best defense in the NFL.
Yeah.
Where Miami is number 1 on offense and 23 on defense, Buffalo's 8 and 2. They're still a very good football team. But I think we both agree is that this is Miami's going to win this game. Okay, just the way Miami's been playing, they're playing with confidence. They're playing with heart. We know about the talent. A lot of teams have very good, great talent. Miami obviously is one of those football teams. But what's the difference between 3-0 last year to 3-0 this year? This is a different 3-0. This is a real 3-0. The Dolphins are playing with heart. You see it. They're having fun. Not at any time. And anybody who's watching, tell me that I'm wrong or disagree with me. But not at one time watching any of these games when it gets close. The Broncos game before it went out of nowhere, where no chance in hell, i.e. Vince McMahon, no chance in hell. Before it went out of nowhere, it was a little closer game, and Denver's kind of teasing a little bit. Not at one time, Evan, and I don't know about you, was I nervous. Last year, you get concerned. You go, you're kind of squirming a little bit. These 3 games, even that New England game, it was 24-17, even though it was a lot, it was really not that close in reality. This team is different. It's the heart that makes the difference with the Miami Dolphins right now. It's the confidence with the Miami Dolphins. And you're right. Fans could do it. We can overhype. We can get overexcited. We may overlook some teams. Miami can't do that. And they're not going to do it against Buffalo. I hope they don't go do it against the Giants or Carolina. But we're not worried about that. But Miami's not doing that. I don't see Miami overlooking anybody. I don't see Miami getting overconfident. I think they know where they're standing right now. And I think they know they can make history. And I'm not talking about best offense in history. That's not the goal. I don't want to be the best offense in NFL history. If we go to the playoffs and lose a game in the playoffs, I don't want to hear from anybody going, at least we got the best offense in history. No, the goal is the championship. And I believe Mike McDaniel on this team, because of Mike McDaniel.
He's very grounded. Honestly, if you look at all the interviews he's done this week, he was talking about the hardships he's had with his daughter, fighting to have his daughter, what his wife and I had to go through with his alcoholism. He knows that no team will look to get him except for Miami. And everyone is talking about how brilliant this guy is. The guy bringing in Vic Fangio, stabilizing this team, believing in his quarterback. Right now, no one, not one coach in this league is out scheming Mike McDaniel. No one is coming up with better plays for their quarterback in the moment. Because if you think about it, Patrick Mahomes manufactures a lot of his great plays. Josh Allen manufactures a lot of his great plays, right? Tua what his best asset is the anticipation. But part of the benefit of his anticipation is the fact that Mike McDaniel has his team so well oiled with the schemes. He schemes and does motions 82% of the time when the average in the league is 58%. His quarterback is that peg in a hole that he puts him in, and it fits like a glove. If it doesn't fit, you must have quit. The glove fits Tua perfectly. Mike McDaniel has the perfect quarterback for his offensive scheme. That is the point. I don't care what anybody says. Not every quarterback would be able to come into this role and be able to do what Tua has done. If he has to play underneath, he plays underneath. If he has to go deep, he goes deep. If he has to get to the running back, if the guy has to throw with his right hand backwards, he throws the right hand backwards. Tua, the only time he's ever made mistakes this season is when he hasn't followed what Mike McDaniel has told him to do, and he's done a play ad-libbing. As long as he does what Mike McDaniel has schemed for him, it's going to work out well for Tua. And that's why it's worked well for him in the first 3 weeks, because he's following the guidance of his head coach, who's gone through the trials and tribulations of being fired, alcoholism, struggles in his personal life, and I see a completely different Mike McDaniel than I did last year. The only thing he hasn't changed from last year, but I think we all are getting used to it, but that's what we want, is he's an aggressive guy, in the sense that if it's 4th and 3, he might go for it. But that's fine. I'd rather a guy go for it than punt the ball just for the sake of because he believes in his team. That's all.
And it's so true. And let me just say very quick, because Evan is going to step off in a little bit.
I'll announce. I'm going to step away in about 12 minutes for about 3 minutes. Just need to get into the car, back up, and reconnect through my phone, because I'm driving for about half an hour. But I can still rejoin. So, Bobby, if you maybe want to drop the link, I know I see DJ
I
Live
will.
in there.
Yeah, I'm going to say if anybody wants to hop on for a little bit.
I just need to jump in because I want to talk about the rest of the NFL.
Absolutely. So that just in case. So if anybody wants to hop on, you let me know. We'll drop the link. You could pop on for a few minutes. Evan gets back. Let me just
only if you have warm and fuzzies.
That's right. Warm and fuzzy.
Right, Malloy?
Yeah. Let me just do something very quick. Evan,
by the way, you know what the biggest difference today is? I want to make a very important difference, guys, just to announce. The Miami Dolphins are playing in Miami Dolphins weather today. It is sunny. It's going to be in the mid-70s in Buffalo. We're having an Indian summer in the Northeast. It is like 80 degrees right now up in Montreal, Canada. Miami has perfect weather. It has Miami Dolphins weather for this game. There's no element issues. So, Bobby, I don't know if you heard what I said, but today is the perfect weather day for the Miami Dolphins. It's going to be in the mid-70s and sunny. It's going to be like a December football game in Miami. They're coming in there and they're going to be short sleeve. They're going to be relaxed. It's going to be as if they're in Miami, except for the covered stadium. Like the weather elements for Miami, there's not going to be rain. There's not going to be cloud. It's going to be a perfect day for the Miami Dolphins to play this football game. So like they're going into their element. And they're 3-0 wearing whites. Have you noticed they have yet to wear aqua? They've yet to wear aqua. They're only wearing whites. The whites are working.
Let me just say right quick. Steve has been very positive lately. I mean, Steve's been on a roll.
Oh, you want to know why? Because then he can revert back to, I told you so. I told you. But he did admit live on air, he's never allowed to play that offensive line video ever again. You have to delete it.
Well, let me just say that very quick. Because, right now, I saw a tweet, and if I could find it, I could pull up so I could read it. But talking about the offensive line, again, my goodness, I'm losing what's his name? The offensive line coach, Evan.
Butch Berry.
Butch Berry. Okay, thank you. Butch Berry.
I listened to him at his press conference. The guy's a very smart guy.
Hey, so Butch Berry, all credit to him. I mean, the way this offensive line is playing, and again, all fair. I hope I could find it. Okay, there. Perfect. Okay, I want to read this very quick, but let me say this. Hey, kudos, Steve playing that video, which again, everyone had that reaction when he said it. Everyone.
I'm teasing.
I know. Let's all be fair here. Everyone had that reaction when even the media, when they asked about the offensive line, Chris Greer kind of laughed and he said, "You guys are more worried about the offensive line," and I think he said the tight end group as well, but the offensive line than we are. I mean, what the heck are you talking about, bro? We were like, wait, what? And so far, and again, it's only 3 weeks. We all understand it. That's why when people tell me, "Are you ready to apologize? Are you ready to admit? Are you ready to look, guys, or give flowers?" Is the job finished? I always think of Kobe Bryant, the late great Kobe Bryant. You're up 2-0. Why are you happy? What's there to be happy about? Is the job finished? Job's not finished. So I'm happy. I'm not ready to go. You know what? But you know what? He's going there. And let me just read about this. And this is Butch Berry. I'm going to give him his flowers with Frank Smith. How are you watching when Edward Zerg is walling out right now? Oh, yes, of course. 17-0, the Jaguars over the Falcons. We didn't predict that game, but I think probably we both went that way.
But the Jaguars have been very disappointing this season.
Miami Dolphins,
but they seem to do well in London. I'll put it this way. If the Jaguars played in London all 6, they should move to London because they seem to win all their games in London.
And they're threatening it. They're threatening to leave Jacksonville right now. They want that taxpayer money and credit to Stephen Ross. Thank goodness we have Stephen Ross.
Did you just compliment my fellow tribesman?
I always do. I'm not a hater on Ross. I mean, as a
at least he tries to win, right? At least he's trying to win. He's trying to win.
But look what he's done with that stadium. Look what he's done for the city of that surrounding area, that city of Miami.
Tennis, everything.
It's not just, our main goal is for him to run the team correctly. But what he's done for the city, what he's done for the organization,
what he's done for the community is incredible. The economy, what he's done for that economy in Miami and Miami Gardens is insane.
Who has Bijan Robinson on their team in our fantasy league?
I have no idea.
I'm wondering. Anyway, Manny's right. It's only 3 weeks, but this O-line has showed up against Bosa, Mack, and Judon. True. Can't ignore that. And that's what I want to read. PFF, Pro Football Focus, said, I had a tweet. The Dolphins' offensive line has been elite so far this season. The Miami's pass protection, number 1 in sacks allowed. Okay. 1 sack allowed this season. 17 pressures. And their grade, they're at 80.4 passing block grade this year, pass blocking grade. I mean, think about that. We all had Steve's reaction. It wasn't just Steve. We've lived this for 20 or more years than that, but we all had that reaction when he said that. We all have the same concerns. And again, those concerns are still there. You think about depth, you think about injuries, whatever. Those concerns are still there. What's the difference? Is that Armstead went down. They said, he'll be back before week 1. He wasn't. He went down for 2 weeks. That's hellfire and brimstone. We would all been freaking out. Kendall Lamb. How many times we said, next man up? It never was like that for Miami. Every time it was next man up, it was a terrible thing. They didn't play next man up. They played like they were supposed to be on the street instead of in a locker room. Kendall Lamb showed up.
Who said at game 1 not to worry? Who said on the Thursday before the first game of the season? Who had an hour show talking about the offensive line?
You were playing devil's advocate.
But I was positive, wasn't I? I was on the bandwagon.
Let's be real. Let's be real, brother.
I believed in Kendall Lamb. I always believed in Kendall Lamb.
Yeah, I loved him last year. You're like, this guy's going to be better than Armstead. I remember you said that. You said this guy's going to be better than Armstead. You said that. You said that.
By the way, Armstead, I don't care what. Guys, go check out the way the Dolphins are dressed today. You should go see how Ogba's dressed today. And you know what I love about the Miami Dolphins, though? I'll tell you this. They are confident. They're not outwardly showing it, but there's a confidence level in this football team. And people seem to forget one thing about this game. You know who Josh Allen's least favorite player to play against in the NFL is?
Christian Wilkins?
Christian Wilkins salivates when he sees Josh Allen. Salivates. He will be crawling all over him today.
Let me just say, Cat for Life is in the house. Let me just welcome everybody who's just tuning in right now. You're watching the Miami Dolphins pregame show on the FinStalk Sports Network, the one and only FinStanza Posner. I'm Bobby FinStalk. Whether you're watching Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, appreciate you. If you're new to the channel or new to watching the show, come on over to YouTube, hit that like and subscribe button. So many good. Josh Wingate, host of the Beer and Sports podcast on the FinStalk Sports Network in the house. Rob and Steve of Real Talk FinStalk on the channel as well. They are here. They just got done with the pregame show on Dolphins Thursdays YouTube page. Go check that out after the show and subscribe there. Of course, Battered Fin fans, Manny, a Bearded Fanatic in the house. Go check out his channel. Everyone tuning in, we appreciate you. Let us know what your keys to the game are. Sean's in the house. What's up? Fins up. What are your keys to victory for everyone who's watching right now to secure Miami Dolphins victory? Dolphins going 4-0 today. What should the Dolphins do to secure that? Let me just read this very quick, and I know Evan's about to hop off in just a few minutes. For our colleague,
someone raise your hand because I won't leave in the next 2 minutes until someone raises their hand saying they're thirsty. Malloy, someone want to join while I step away? I don't want to leave Bobby alone for more than 4 or 5 minutes.
I'll be fine for more than 5 minutes. I've been doing this for a while. But I will drop the link.
I'll be back, but
yeah, don't threaten me. But our colleague Bret Lagasse, he was supposed to join us today, but he forgot he had Paw Patrol live tickets to.
He's missing the Dolphins game for Paw Patrol.
My family knows better, and I love my family.
My family knows better too.
I am available to my family at all times. I love nothing more than hanging out with my kids. Sorry. But a game, Dolphins is a different story. When it's a Dolphins game, that's what I'm watching. My wife knows that. We schedule around that, But keys to the game for Bret Lagasse. I want to read this off because he's not able to join us today. until tonight. He'll probably be with his post game. But his keys of the game: control the line of scrimmage, get to a hot start, and don't let up. And then his prediction is Miami over Buffalo, 35-32. Man, he says keep Josh Allen on the sideline as much as possible. I love it.
What was his final score? Sorry.
35-32 Miami.
Brett?
Yes.
Does he have a fever?
Don't be rude.
Look who's about to join. So let me go. I'll be back in 5 minutes. But because you heard what my keys to the game were, right? Keys to the game: don't listen to Brett. Don't listen to Brett. Don't listen to Brett.
Yeah, so, Jesus.
I'll be back in 30
minutes. I'm only here for until Evan gets to his car, because I told Steve I left my cell saying I had stuff I have to do. But
give me 2 minutes, guys. I'll be back online, Bobby, in 3 minutes. Just give me 2 minutes.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate you.
I love you, Thirsty. 2 weeks from now, we're going to be partying together, buddy.
Yes, it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. So
I'll see you guys in a few minutes.
We'll all be together in person.
I'll be there in a few minutes. I'll be right back.
All right.
Bye, guys.
That's Evan Posner. He'll be back. What's up, Rob?
I predict it's nothing bad, man. We had a good crowd over there, just like you guys got a good crowd here. Some of the same names. Hey, it's DG. Hey, he was over there. All that's awesome stuff, man. But hey, I predicted Dolphins win 31-28. Steve, we without knowing, we didn't no calling. He said 30-27. So we were both very close. So we both had the Dolphins winning by a field goal. It's Buffalo. Not only is it Dolphin game day, it's Buffalo Bill Dolphin game day. What more? If you check your pulse, as our coach would say, if you're not excited about this game. This is the game that,
100%.
It's a big time to make a statement. Scotty was over there. Good to see Scotty again. Always a great guy to have Scotty in there. But anyways, Bobby, thank you for having me. Like I said, this will just be real quick. Let Evan get
I appreciate it. I know you just got done with your pregame show. I would love to know unless I hope you don't mind repeating it, but if you did it on the show, but your keys to victory, man, what would secure a Dolphins victory day? What should the Dolphins do to make sure that they take the monkey off their back and beat Buffalo?
Hey, that's the term I use, a monkey off the back.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
That's funny because the main key is, someone said it basically here, keep Allen off the field. So keep kind of possessing in your favor, move the ball, because I think they're going to do New England on us. We're not probably going to have the big play. They're going to say, well, let's do that. Make more throws, which means there's a chance he's going to make a mistake. They're going to kind of try to take. I don't think anyone can totally take Tyreek, because in New England, everyone said, oh, they took Tyreek out. He still got a touchdown at the end of the day,
Right.
So you don't totally take Tyreek out. But I think, what Mike McDaniel would say, I'm not stupid. I know what they're going to try to do. They're going to try to take these guys away, especially after we put up 70 points. But my main key to the game is force Allen into turnovers, because he can beat you for sure. He's a great quarterback, but he is prone to making turnovers at time. You got to bring that Josh Allen out. Try to get to him, make him make rash decisions. Do not let him, because in the past, the Dolphins let him beat us with his legs. So many times you feel like we wrap him up, and the next thing you know, he's spinning out of it and runs 16 yards for our first down. And you're like, we had him 3rd and 12 and had him behind the line of scrimmage, and he runs, and it just kills us. And that's heartbreaking to a defense when a quarterback does that. So by all means, I'm not even going to have any keys to the game on offense other than keep the ball away from him, because, our offense is clicking. They know the keys to just keep that offense going. That's the key to the game. The offense we've seen in the first 3 weeks, keep that offense. That's the key to the game. But on defense, they're finally facing a team that can put up points and match you, just like the Chargers matched us. And we finally, at the end, sacked, Herbert to win. We're going to have to do that more throughout the game. We got to create turnovers and get to Allen more, because if you have him all day sitting back there, he is going to pick you apart. You get pressure on him, he may make some Josh Allen turnovers that he's it's prone to, because when he doesn't do the turnovers, Josh Allen is one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL. If you make him do turnovers, then he's a beatable quarterback.
Oh, all fair points and great points. And you were talking about the offense, if they take away Tyreek and what to take away. But what's great about the Dolphins offense right now, we were just talking about the offensive line, the way they've been playing. they've been playing way better than most. I don't care what anybody says. Evan can say it too.
For sure.
Evan did play devil's advocate. Love Evan to death, but that's just a fact. He keep ragging on Steve, but no, everyone was nervous about the offensive line.
Oh, no, I remember many times Evans talked about Connor Willems being the worst thing in the history of football, basically.
Absolutely. But right now, Evan's going, ooh, I'm going to get back at him so bad. He's listening. But what's great about the Dolphins offense right now, because last year, you go, okay, how could this team beat the Dolphins offense? Take away Tyreek and Jalen Waddle. Make them beat you with one of their other receiver, River Craycraft or whatever this other guy's doing
last year, right?
Yeah, that way. Because they weren't going to run the ball. The Dolphins didn't do that. They were majority 80% at passing the ball. This season, though, we're going to take out Tyreek. All right, take out Tyreek. We're going to take out Waddle. Okay, watch this. There goes H.M. There goes Raheem Mostert. You know what I mean? It's like Miami.
It's great. It's a beautiful thing to see. I love it, man. This is what we wanted. And, I just think it took a little while to mature and, took time to simmer with McDaniel, then Butch Berry. And I know a lot of us picked on him because we know. I mean, how many of us really know anything about offensive line coach other than what you read? Because you're not sitting there watching other teams breaking down Denver's offensive line. But we hear, he's leaving sticky notes. You hear all the negative like the other fans because no one's ever going to tell you the good someone does. They love saying, he writes sticky notes. Players hated him, blah, blah, blah. Well, I don't know. Whatever he's doing here in Miami, I don't know if he just gives them magic water. I don't know. But whatever he's doing is going well. He's a good fit. Obviously, Mike McDaniel, because people are, why did he settle for this guy? He left UM. He did this. He's just a journeyman offensive line coach. Why we're bringing in that? But obviously, McDaniel, you saw something in him. They had a good interview. He probably says, yes. And he probably told him, this is what I run. This is the scheme I want to run. Can you do blocking? Your blocking scheme, can you fit my offense? And I'm sure Butch Berry, yes. And he did it because whatever he did has been great, And like Manny of Bearded Fanatics said, yes, it's a little too soon to toot the horn. Yes, it's only week 4, but it means we've only played 3 games. But in the 3 games, that's all you can ask of them. They've played well in all 3 games. We didn't run the ball well against the Chargers, but the pass was there, so why are you going to go? And McDaniel said it himself. We were thinking, here we go again. It's going to be a pass-only year. The first week, we won to basically only passing. Week 2 was exactly 50-50 running and passing. And last week, let's face it, we could have ran the whole game, probably not thrown one pass and won that game, not run the ball one time and run the game passing only that game, but we did it. When you have over 300 yards passing, over 300 yards rushing, that means they're run blocking, they're pass blocking. Tua's only been sacked once, pressured a couple other times, of course, but only sacked one time. It has a formula for looking like it's going to be a good offensive unit. And especially if they stay healthy, of course, that's the key thing because cohesion, I think they're finally working together and they know what each other are doing.
So you brought up a great point because you're talking about week 1 where Miami was mainly passed the ball. They didn't run the ball. They started off running the ball really well, and then they got away from that towards the second half, into the second half. And, we were like, oh, goodness, they're going to do the same thing. Even though they won, what happened with running the ball. Week 2, they ran the ball better than they passed the ball.
Evan says, send me the code.
Send me the code. Oh, you amateur. You amateur.
Yeah. So, but
what I was going to say was that one of the points about this team, what's great about this team is any questions you had in week 1, they were answered in week 2. Any questions you had in week 2, they were answered in week 3. So after week 3, Rob, and we haven't had a chance to talk. We talked post game. Because who wasn't going to talk on post game? We all want to talk after the game. But we're talking about after week 3, throughout this week, as you were preparing for week 4, when you were looking at this team, even after a 70-point performance, what did you say? Were there any question you go, man, they have to address this in week 4 against Buffalo, even though they had a great performance in week 3 with 70-20? Was there anything like in the previous weeks where you were like, I'm still not sure about this?
Yeah, other than the one kickoff return, you don't want to do that because in a close game, that one kickoff return could be the difference between winning and losing. But that was just, I don't know, because Sanders can basically most of the time kick the ball out of the end zone. Here comes Mr. FinStanza already almost. But he, for whatever reason, he didn't kick the ball. I was at that game. He was kicking almost every single ball, but the Denver guy was just watching it fly over. That kick, he decided not to kick out of the end zone, and it burned us. But I mean, really, what can I say? There's nothing that this team. If we play our best, Buffalo plays their best. No one gets injured, which I don't want on any side. I want both teams to be healthy. Both teams play their best. It should be a very good football, but I think we flipped the switch and we won the close football game this time because Buffalo beat us in 2 close football games last year because we are right there with them. I mean, no matter what happens today, because some stuff happens in football, we're still there. But this is just a kind of a statement game for me because of the fact we haven't won up there since 2016, which is Adam Gates' first year. So that's like 2 coaching administrations ago already. It's the last time that we got a victory up there. So it's time to get that monkey off our back, like you said, and I said on my show earlier. You can go see, it's proven. So it's just like it's that time. It's get that monkey off our back once and for all, and we switched it. And I think we come away. And FinStanza's not going to want to hear this. It's going to come down to Jason Sanders making a field goal, and that's going to be the difference of the game. And I said I do hope it's within 50 yards. If you give him within 50 yards, I will have faith in him making the kick. After 50 yards, once you get into that 52, 53, then I'm going to be saying, what are they doing? They should just go for it, or something. So, but if it's, I just see it. I see it happening.
Let me just say, first off, Sean Tunzel, I think Chosen is going to have a good game today. So, I mean, think about Chosen, Robbie Chosen. I think that's what or Chosen Anderson. Was it Robbie Chosen or Chosen Anderson?
Robbie Chosen.
Thank you. Robbie Chosen. He comes in last week. He was activated, comes in, scores in I want to say garbage time, but still, I mean, that was against Pat Surtain Jr. Absolutely. And he beat him with, and then Evan is in audio right now. Evan, you're there?
I'm coming. I'm here. I'm just trying to get my camera going, but for now, I'll be on audio.
Okay. So
I don't know. You may have to look into identity theft there, Bobby, looking at that profile picture. I don't know, man. He's
right. I know. No, I think it's
how did that picture? Oh, because he's under your name. It's why.
That's right. Yes. Like you.
Oh, okay. That's funny because I see that. I'm like, man, am I seeing like Bobby twice?
That's right. That's right. Oh,
now you can see me.
Oh, yeah. Let's keep that picture of Tua over him. Oh, all right.
Oh, sorry. But I want to say,
nice.
Let me just say real quick.
Well, look at that Mike McDaniel shirt he's wearing. So,
do we expect, like Sean saying he thinks Chosen's going to have a good game today? We know River Craycraft, he's out. He's gone for the season, right?
No, not gone for the season. Gone for 4 games.
4 games? Okay. So, but what are we thinking? Do we think Chosen could have a good game today? You think Chosen's going to step up with Waddle and Hill being out there healthy?
Yes.
Rob?
Yeah, no, I think, I think he can play. I mean, it's hard. Last week like you said, I thought he might get more action. He did play a lot of snaps out here, but he only had the one big play. But yeah, I think he can do well. The one thing that he doesn't do as well as Craycraft is the blocking, probably, because that's where losing Craycraft hurts a little bit. But as far as making big plays, yeah, he's actually another big play threat that the Bills are going to have to worry about that they did not have to worry about in Craycraft because, the one thing Craycraft isn't going to take a ball 70 yards to the house on a little slant. So I do think Chosen has a good chance. We got 3 players in the receiving spot right now that can take the ball to the house after catching the ball, which is nice, So the Bills are going to have to keep an eye on that. I mean, we got weapons coming out of, as long as we stay healthy, this game, we got so much speed. It's crazy when you look at it. I mean, to me, Chosen could do well because, like you say, take Waddle away, take, Tyreek Hill away, and then now you give them a little Robbie Chosen to chew on. Or, it's just, to me, I mean, it's really, and the weather, as Evan's saying, is beautiful up in that region. So there's no weather excuse. No, I don't know what to say. I'm almost out of here because he's back, and my wife just came and looked at me like, why are you still yapping when you said you were going to be done?
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah.
Rob, thank you so much, brother, for popping in. I'm sure we will probably see you tonight after the game.
Yep.
You may want to pop in for post game. That's Rob Mosley, Dolphins Thirsty. Check him out. Dolphins Thirsty YouTube, but also, same, just as important, DolphinsThirsty.com. Guys, if you're thirsty for Dolphins content, check out DolphinsThirsty.com. Great stuff, almost daily. And, of course, awesome YouTube. Rob, thanks so much, my man. Don't piss off the missus.
Dolphins 31, Buffalo 28 is my prediction. So
love it. There you go.
All right.
That's
later,
Dolphins
guys.
Thirsty. Later, Rob. See you later,
up.
my friend. Awesome. That's Rob Mosley of DolphinsThirsty.com. Who
we love Thirsty. We love Thirsty.
We do. Let me put this back here and kabooyah. And of course, as you see, Evan is on the road, but he is so committed talking Dolphins and NFL. His poor kids have to sit quiet as he drives.
Only one, but he loves this stuff, so he's not complaining.
There you go. So let's do this before we make our predictions and talk about our keys to the game. Let's look around the league right now and give our predictions for the rest of the NFL games. Let me go ahead and put this up.
I predict the Jaguars are going to win.
I do too. I think. Oh, whoa! Wait a second. Looks like they are winning. Hold on. We may be right.
That's better, right? I predicted the Jaguars will win.
Actually, I could actually see if I did predict them. Oh, man, I didn't have it on here. Crap. Okay, so let's go ahead. We're going to skip Miami Buffalo, which starts at 1 o'clock Eastern. We'll move on to Denver Broncos for Chicago Bears. I believe both teams are 0-3. Evan, how do you think that plays out?
I think that the Broncos are these are just two teams that I don't even know what to think, but shocking of shocks, the way that defense showed me last week, I think the robot comes out of his shell today and becomes a man, and I think that somehow Justin Fields is going to have a phenomenal game, and somehow the Bears are going to sneak this one out at home.
Ooh, oh, man. I would love to see the Chicago Bears win this game. It's so hard, though, to see a Russell Wilson, Sean Payton-led team drop to 0-4. If they drop the 0-4, heads are going to roll. And it's probably going to be the D coordinator, Vance Joseph. On that alone, I'm going to roll with the Broncos because I cannot see them dropping 4 straight games to start the year. But I don't think I can't. It's hard for me to disagree with you because, again, I think the Bears, this looks like a game that they could come out, and especially in Soldier Field, they could pull this out. But, oh, man, it's hard. It's just hard for me to go against Sean Payton, Russell Wilson-led team. The Minnesota Vikings, again, you would look at, Kirk Cousins, what we're saying about Tua, but Kirk Cousins is leading the league in passing right now. He's the number 1 passer. Justin Jefferson, right there with Tyreek, is one of the best receivers in football. But there are 0-3, Kevin O'Connell and the Vikings, 0-3 to start the year against the Panthers. I'm going to roll with the Vikings. Again, I can't see them going 0-4. Am I wrong, Evan?
No, there's just too much offense available, and Kirk Cousins is still going to have a 300-yard, couple touchdown game. He has Justin Jefferson. The Panthers aren't there yet. They're still developing. So, yeah, the Vikings will pick up their first win of the season.
All right. So we go on to this is going to be a big-time matchup, just like the AFC East, Buffalo versus Miami. You got AFC North, the 2-1 Baltimore Ravens versus the 2-1 Cleveland Browns. Man, this is going to be you don't want to talk about, Miami and Buffalo might be a high-powered offense game. Two good offenses going at each other, even though Buffalo has a great defense. This game is going to be a hard-hitting, probably a low-scoring type game.
It's going to be a slobber knocker. It's going to be, as Jim Ross.
Quoting Jim Ross, a slobber knocker.
It's going to be a slobber knocker.
How do you see this turning out?
I believe that the Cleveland defense is something that is shocked me. I think Jim Schwartz has that team playing over its head, and I do think that the Cleveland Browns somehow, some way, in spite of Deshaun Watson not being what he is getting paid, is somehow going to contain Lamar Jackson, and the Cleveland Browns will move to 3-1.
I'm with you. I'm rolling with the Browns. I think this is going to be a close game. It's going to be a defensive game. I got it 20-17 Cleveland over Baltimore. We got the another AFC North team, the Steelers, who are 2-1 on the season. Great defense, obviously, versus the Houston Texans, who won their first game shockingly last week, 1-2 on the year. Evan, how does this play out?
Texans had a great game last game, but the Steelers defense will contain C.J. Stroud, and in spite of Kenny Pickett, the Pittsburgh Steelers will pick up their third win of the season.
There you go. I'm with you. Pittsburgh's my pick as well. We go on to the Los Angeles Rams versus the Indianapolis Colts, who won in overtime last week. 2-1 for the Colts, 1-2 for the Rams. Do the Rams go to 500, or do the Colts move to 3-1 on the season?
The Rams with Papa Nakua and that group, and I can't pronounce his name, but I call him Papa Nakua. That's what I like to call him. That group is going to have a good game. The Colts don't have the offense to contain them, and the Rams are going to win this game. Go to 2-2.
Yeah, I'm going to roll with the Rams as well. I don't know. I don't know if Anthony Richardson is playing or not, but I'm going to roll with the Rams on that just to be safe.
In spite of him, they'll still do well.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers 2-1 on the season with Baker Mayfield as quarterback against the 2-1 New Orleans Saints. Division game, division rivals. Derek Carr is out. Who's a quarterback for the Saints? Is it Jameis?
Jameis Winston, yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I'm gonna roll with the Bucs on this one. I'm going with the Buccaneers to take this one. What about you?
Are they playing in New Orleans, or are they playing in Tampa?
They're playing at Caesars. They're playing in New Orleans.
They're playing in New Orleans, so yes, Jameis Winston will pick up the win over his former team. I think that the honeymoon period for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is over. If it was at home, maybe I'd give him some credit, but Jameis Winston in the dome, no, I see the Saints taking that one.
I have the Buccaneers. You have the Saints. We move on to the Washington Commanders, who are 2-1 on the season, with Sam Howell quarterback against the 3-0 Philadelphia Eagles. I'm just gonna say I'm gonna roll with the Eagles on this one. The Eagles go 4-0 after today. Evan, is there an upset brewing in Philly?
No, there is not. Even Jalen Hurts has not started off the year the way he did last year. However, the D line of the lines on the Philadelphia Eagles has been as expected this season. Sam Howell is going to have a little bit of a rude awakening again this week, and they will not even stand a chance against the Philadelphia Eagles today.
All right, moving on. You got the 1-2 Cincinnati Bengals picked up their first win. They're going against the Tennessee Titans in Nashville. How do you think this plays out, Evan?
Shockingly enough, you're going to be shocked. I believe that Derrick Henry will have a good game against the Cincinnati Bengals defense, and I do believe that Tennessee will bring the Cincinnati Bengals, who did not look good they've yet to play a good game. I don't think they're going to do it in Nashville. Mike Vrabel always has his defense ready to play. I think he'll cook up a recipe to contain the Bengals offense, and I think this is the upset of the week. The Tennessee Titans will beat the Cincinnati Bengals.
Wow. Oh, damn. It's going to be a tough.
Just pick the Bengals and let's move on.
Yeah, I'm going to roll with the Bengals. You got me thinking about changing my mind, but I'm going with the Bengals to pull that off. I think they go to 500 on the season. The Raiders, Aiden O'Connell, the rookie, is going to start at quarterback today. Jimmy G is out. They're going against the Chargers. This is a Chargers win. I can't see the Chargers dropping this game. I mean, it is a division game in any given Sunday, but I think it's the Chargers winning this game, especially against a rookie quarterback. What do you think?
They're without Mike Williams. However, I do believe that they will win this football game, the Chargers, because without Jimmy G, Mr. Injury Prone, Jimmy Garoppolo, without them, they didn't look good against any other team so far this season. They couldn't beat the Steelers. They couldn't beat the Bills. They couldn't contain themselves. They went into Denver and beat a very poor Broncos team. So, the Chargers will come out victorious. Justin Herbert's been great this year. In spite of everything, I will give credit to Justin Herbert. His completion percentage and everything around there, he has had a good year so far. So I'm not going to question Justin Herbert. He has been a good quarterback this year in spite of everything going on with Brandon Staley and that defense.
Absolutely. Okay, so we go to there's AFC East team against an NFC team. You got the Patriots against excuse me. Josh Wingate, our colleague here on FinStanza Sports Network, his Cowboys, who are 2-1 on the season, one of the best defenses in football, trying to still find their way on offense. New England also a very good defense. So I think it might be a low-scoring game here, Evan. Do you think the Patriots upset the Cowboys?
Shocking of shocks, the New England Patriots are going to upset the Dallas Cowgirls.
Oh, is this a knock on Wingate?
No, I do believe that Dak Prescott. I do believe that that he'll come up with a scheme to contain Dak Prescott, and that the running game of the New England Patriots and Rashawn Stevenson in that group, and Ezekiel Elliott, and it's also for me a revenge game for Ezekiel Elliott, who got cut. I think he's going to have a decent game against his former team, and I do believe that the New England Patriots will find a way to sneak this game out. They were able to do it against the Jets, a stout Jets defense, and now they're going to do it out against a stout Cowboys. I think the Cowboys are going to be a little overconfident today. They did it against the Cardinals, and they're playing a better team than they did last week, and I believe that this is what's going to happen.
All right. I'm going to roll with the Cowboys here, but Evan is making a great case for the Patriots. But wow. I'm going to roll with the Cowboys here. I think the Cowboys defense is too talented to allow a Patriots team offense to even score more than them. But Evan makes a great case. You got the Arizona Cardinals 1-2 on the season. Obviously, you think they were tanking, but they messed that up last week, winning a game. But the Cardinals with Josh Dobbs take on the San Francisco 49ers, who are 3-0. And every time I look at the Eagles and the Niners, I just keep thinking of the Dolphins. And I just can't wait when they all play each other. But something's going to match up there. I think destiny is connected with Miami on those two teams. But we'll see. But the 4-0 Niners taking on the Cardinals. I think the 49ers continue their win streak. They go 4-0 on the season after they defeat the Cardinals today. Evan, am I wrong?
You are not wrong. The San Francisco 49ers seem to get a very lazy schedule for themselves, and this won't even be close. This game will be over by the midway through the second quarter. This won't even be close.
All right. Moving on to, let me make sure I'm not missing anybody, and I hate to. There it is. All right, cool. All right, so the next game, we got the Kansas City Chiefs versus the New York Jets in New York. The Chiefs are 2-1. The Jets are 1-2. I will always pick against the Jets, but it's obvious why I would do that anyway. I have the Kansas City Chiefs beating the New York Jets today, knocking the Jets to 1-3. And let me just say good morning. I don't know if it's morning where he's at, but good morning to my brother, Nick Voss, wherever he's at. Nicky says, what's up, Evan Costanza? So, Nick, where are you, man? What part of the world are you at today, brother? That's my younger brother, Nick, guys. If you haven't checked him out, go to Spotify, go to TikTok, check out Nick Voss Music. Great entertainer, a lot of fun. He's hilarious too. You're in England? Are you in England? London, England?
Cherry Old England.
Southampton. Oh man.
Wasn't at the Jaguars game.
Nick, I don't like asking for things, but if you could pick me up something from England, probably something from the Queen, that'd be cool, my man. Something from the royalty. Just did my first Elvis tribute show. Congratulations, guys. First off, let me just tell you about my brother very quick. We're going to move on to Seattle and New York, but my brother Nick is an entertainer. He is an entertainer right now for Norwegian Cruise Lines, where he does 2 shows. I think it's still the 2 shows, but he does. You sound like you're from London, Russell Brown. London, England. But he performs as Elvis on the $1 Million Quartet, and he does Burn the Floor. But he does those 2 shows. That's what he does for Norwegian Cruises. But he just did his first ever Elvis tribute show, which was like a 70s concert. I haven't seen it yet. I've seen him prepare for it. If you guys have a chance, go check out Nick Voss on TikTok. You'll see all the cool clips. But also check out anywhere you can get music, whether Apple Music, Spotify, wherever else you can find music. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. Nick Voss, great stuff. Always something new coming out, just like I do here on FinStanza Sports Network. Obviously, you could tell that we're related. We're brothers because of how much he does for his stuff. as much as mine. Love you, brother. Miss you, man. Happy for you. But so from London, so definitely look, Mickey, hook me up with something from London, man. I'd love to get you don't have to get something big, but give me a little something, dude. That's so cool. I'm excited that you're there. Monday Night Football. This 2-1 Seattle Seahawks against the New York Football Giants. Giants are 1-2 on the season. Seahawks 2-1. I'm going to roll with the Seahawks here to pull this out. Evan, are you agree or disagree with me there?
I agree with you. 100%.
So, wait a second, guys. Evan's very quiet right now, and I just found out why. I wasn't looking at the home screen. He is live.
I'm in a locker room. You guys are live. I'm live
in a locker room. He's his son's hockey game. He's preparing for his son's hockey game today. So we might lose him here.
No, you're not losing me. I have a few minutes. I'm all good.
Okay, good. All right. I'll get you some souvenirs.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
The Seattle Seahawks, that's not even going to be close. It's two good defenses against a very good Seattle Seahawks offense. And as long as Zach Wilson's behind center, the Jets may not win another football game.
There you go. So let's start getting into our predictions for the Dolphins game. Before that, let me go around the league and talk about the what the quote unquote experts are saying for this Dolphins game. The Bills are favorites to defeat the Dolphins according to BetMGM NFL odds. Lorenzo Reyes of USA Today has the Bills winning 27-23. Vinny Iyer of Sporting News, Buffalo 30-27. Brad Gangman, Bleacher Report, has the Bills winning. John Breach, CBS Sports, Bills win 34-31. Bill Bender, Sporting News, Bills 34-31. Pete Presco, CBS Sports, Buffalo 20-23. Ali Bonpuri of NFL.com has the Dolphins winning 28-26. Again, let me just verify here before I talk about the key injuries right now. Jordan Poyer for Buffalo is out. Edge rusher for the Dolphins, Jalen Phillips, also out. Let me make sure I'm not missing here if we got any inactives. Let me check it out here. Steve Malloy, Williams, and Elliott inactive today. Oh, there you go. So did that list come out? Let's see if we could. Here we go. Week 4 inactives. Skylar Thompson, obviously he's the emergency third quarterback. Deshaun Elliott, Eli Apple, Connor Williams, Tyler Kroft, Jalen Phillips, all out for Miami today. Evan, any surprises there? Oh, he's broken up there. No internet in there. That's Canadian internet for Evan. My goodness. Okay, so for me, Deshaun Elliott, Eli Apple, Deshaun Elliott's a surprise, but Connor Williams, we know he came out of the game last week.
I'm back.
Oh, there he is. Oh, and he got good internet all of a sudden. Okay, so did you hear the inactives?
No, repeat them for me.
Okay, obviously we got Skylar Thompson, but you know he's the emergency quarterback.
Yeah.
Jalen Phillips, Deshaun Elliott, Eli Apple, Connor Williams, and Tyler Kroft all out for today's game. Any surprises for you?
No concerns. I'm happy to see Brandon Jones is back. I'm happy to see that probably Cam Smith is going to get some time out there along with Kader Kohu in that group. So I'm happy to see that there's going to be some changes there. So I'm totally fine. Connor Williams is there, So Connor Williams is there, right?
He's out. He's out for today's game.
He's out. So Eichenberg can do the job. Honestly,
can do the job. To me, honestly, I guess if you were to say what would be a concern, again, you know why I'm not concerned about Jalen Phillips. But Connor Williams' injury is a concern because of Eichenberg. But Eichenberg did well last week considering when he came in. So obviously a tougher defense, the number 2 defense in the NFL. We got to credit that. But I could see why you would be concerned. I would just say the Connor Williams injury or being out is the biggest concern on this inactive. Other than that, I'm okay.
Absolutely.
All right, so going back, thank you, Steve, for the heads up. Steve Malloy, host of Real Talk, Fins Talk. Let me pop this up here. Let's go to so did you hear all the predictions against Miami except for Bonpuri of NFL.com?
Yeah, everyone expects the Bills to win.
Everybody expects the Bills to win.
But that's better for us. That doesn't bother me.
Yes.
And it's a picking game. What's the final spread? 3.5, I think, with FanDuel. 3 with FanDuel.
Orlando,
2.5.
what's up, my man?
I don't know if one had 3 points and had 2. It's a pick'em game. It's a pick'em game.
Absolutely, it is. So keys to the game, Evan. What are your keys to secure a Dolphins victory against the Buffalo Bills today?
I mentioned them last night on Fin's Talk, yesterday on Fin's Talk today. It's to keep Allen in the pocket, not let him make any big plays with his legs. Keep the pocket clean for Tua. And it's very simple for Mike McDaniel. Run, run, run. Ed Oliver, Matt Milano, the linebacking core of the Buffalo Bills are weak in the pants. They are not great against the run. So I predict 200 yards between Mostert and Achane for today's game. That is the number one key to victory. If we don't see a balanced attack today and he reverts to the running game, this will be a failure on Mike McDaniel to not learn his lesson from last season, because he needs to slow the game down. He needs to keep Josh Allen off the field. And the way to do that is to go with a sustained running game. Achane it was phenomenal last week. So was Mostert. They're confident. Give them the football. Give them the football.
All right. And what's your prediction? Final prediction.
34-23 Dolphins.
There you go. My keys to the game is make Diggs a non-factor. Force Allen to go elsewhere on offense. Rattle Allen. Hit him fast. Hit him often. Force him to make mistakes. And then third, keep the balance attack. Rushing and running the ball for the Dolphins. Passing and rushing the ball for the Dolphins offense. Score fast. Score often. Do not let up. Do not take your foot off the gas. I don't care if you're up by 15, 21, whatever. You keep pouring it on. Now, I don't expect 70. I don't expect that, but I do expect 41-28 Miami over Buffalo today. Yes.
Are you drunk?
41. I'm not drunk. Straight up coffee. No vodka, nothing in here. It's not spiked coffee. But
you're drinking
41. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. 41. Who would not drink the Kool-Aid? Drink the
You have a
Kool-Aid.
bigger spread than I do. You have a bigger spread than I do, and I'm the head of the bandwagon.
I'm saying, But Nicky, I forgot to ask Nick. Me and Nick did not talk last week after the game. But I would love to know what he thought about that 70 point performance. But we can wait to see what he thought about that or what he thinks about today's game. Right now, I don't have it in front of me. I was going to see the score for the Jags in London. I believe it's in London. The Jags versus the Falcons. The game might be over now. But anyway, guys, don't forget tonight. Imagine if we repeat that scoring tandem. Imagine. Don't forget, Evan and I will be back tonight after the Dolphins game.
Yes, I will be fully
Sunday.
available then.
Then he'll actually be home. I mean, I got to be a dad. Okay, whatever. No.
Oh, shame on me that I don't multitask, right?
But Nick, you're gonna love it, man. Next, Evan with his tag team partner, Miss Fins, but Evan majority of the time convinced me. I'm flying to Miami in 2 weeks. Evan is treating me to the Dolphins versus the Panthers. I'm going to the Panthers-Dolphins game in Miami. So we're going to do some live shows from there in Miami. Give me 500 total yards on offense, and we are 4-0. Orlando. Love it. But yeah, guys, Evan and I and the majority of everybody else have the Dolphins winning today's game. I think everybody picks Miami. Nick Voss, I left at halftime and felt good about the score. When I finished my show, I checked the score via Google and thought it was a glitch when I saw 70 points. We thought it was a glitch watching the game live. We thought there was a mistake. It was like watching Madden. But Nikki, everyone tuning in, you could join us tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time for the Miami Dolphins post-game show as we celebrate the Dolphins going 4-0 on the Buffalo Bills. I'm going to let Evan go. I'm going to hop off as well. Evan, any final words before we wrap it up?
No, I'm just very excited for today's game. I'll be watching the first 10 minutes while my kid is still on the ice for his practice game today. But I will be watching, not a moment. That's why I have the zone. This is why I'm committed to my Miami Dolphins. And I'm a nervous Nelly, but that's normal. But we have our team members. Tua's there. Tyreek'sville, getting Jalen Waddle back. T-Steady's there. The defense is there. Fanjo's going to cook something up, and we're going to have a fun, exciting day being Miami Dolphins fans. 4-0.
There you go. Guys, thank you all for tuning in. We appreciate you. Get ready for some football. Are you ready for some football? Are you ready for your Dolphins to go 4-0? The number one offense against the number two defense. I mean, talk about a heavyweight fight. I cannot wait. We will see you guys tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, for the post-game show. Until then, as always, like, subscribe, and fins up. We'll see you all later.
Fins up, guys. Have a great